but I was pleased with the melody. And I had just woken up one morning with it in my head. Couldn't believe it was mine. Went round and checked it with everyone, and nobody knew it.
What, you sort of sing it to them and say, is this from, have I nicked this off someone?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. First of all to John, wait a minute, look at this. What is it? I can't, it must be something, because I dreamed it. Right. So I automatically assumed it was something I'd heard, and it'd just come back in a dream. Took it to George Martin, he said, no, I never heard of it. Took it to a few other friends, and everyone agreed they'd never heard of it, so it was like, okay, it's mine, then. Don't quite know how, but it is. And then someone reminded me recently, I was on a holiday in Portugal and was driving from Lisbon to the south coast, where it was actually Bruce Welch of the Shadows' holiday villa that he was lending me. But I had this big drive, and on the 3-hour drive, I started thinking of proper lyrics. So got the Yesterday and the Suddenly, and got the real lyrics for it. And Bruce reminded me, actually, that when I got there, I said, have you got a guitar? Have you got a guitar? I hadn't brought mine. He said, yeah. I said, oh, lends it. And I sat down and sort of put it all together with the lyrics,
Right. Yeah, it must have been terrifying if there's no cassettes, that you'd forget it. You'd never get back to it.
But see, this was the thing. It was a kind of terror, but it was a kind of great thing, really. Because as we said, if we forget it tomorrow, it's no good. How can we expect our public to remember it if we can't, and we only wrote it yesterday? And what you would find would be that you would sort of forget it towards the end of the day and get a little bit panicked. But first thing in the morning, you go, what was that? Oh, yeah. And it would come back. So you'd play it a bit more on the guitar. That was like the way of cementing it in your mind.
So it seems like, from what you're saying, that all the songs, come from one little snippet of an idea, which is then kind of embellished upon. I think I was reading with it, Magical Mystery Tour, when you started that. I think I read somewhere that you started banging out and you just had the first line, roll up for the Mystery Tour, and you were playing it and shouting out snatches of words that Mal Evans was trying to write down as you were going along. I don't know. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, we would do all that sort of thing. You try any method, really, Yeah. I used to live in this little flat up at the top of a house. In a little room I had a piano by the bed, and I just woke up one morning with this tune in my head. And I thought, I don't know this tune, or do I? It's like an old jazz tune or something, and because my dad used to know a lot of old jazz stuff. Well, maybe I've just remembered it or somewhere. So I sort of went to the piano, found the chords to it. It was like in G, F sharp minor 7, sort of B and that, and kind of just remembered it, made sure I remembered it, and then I just hawked it round to all my friends and stuff and said, what's this? It's got to be something. It's like a good little tune, and I couldn't have written it because I just dreamed it, You don't get that lucky.
And it wasn't until he got the lyric together that he decided to record it, and he said, how should we do it? I said, well, it's a lovely song, super song. I can't really see what Ringo can do on it. I can't really see what heavy electric guitars are going to do on it. Why don't you just go down there and sing it to me with the guitar, and we'll decide what to do with it then.
And it was good, actually, because all the others, the guys, I looked at them like, oops, solo record. And they said, yeah, it doesn't matter, there's nothing we could add to it, so do it.
And I remember John listening to it. And there's a particular bit where the cello moves into kind of bluesy note, and John thought that was terrific. So it was applauded, but it wasn't really a Beatle record. And I discussed this with Brian. I said, this is Paul's song. Should we call it Paul McCartney? He said, no.
And I can't actually remember him making that suggestion, but I wouldn't have done that. We never entertained those ideas. It was sometimes tempting, people would flatter you and say, oh, you should get out front on the band there, or you should put this solo record out. But we always said, nah. In fact, we didn't even ever put it out as a single in England, because we were kind of a little bit embarrassed about it. We were a rock and roll band, we thought we were like a little R&B combo.